who do I want to help? Or another way to say it is, who do I want to serve? We are here to serve our neighbors, right? Loving God and loving others, loving your neighbor as yourself. That is why we are here. And that's why this little graphic in the corner on this page is important. It's a famous quote by Martin Luther, who was one of the Protestant reformers in the 16th century. He's the one who nailed the 95 Theses to the door of the church. And he said, God does not need your good works. God doesn't need anything from you, but your neighbor does. Your neighbor needs your good works, okay? So we are here as the arms and legs and the body of Jesus Christ. Jesus is the head, we are the body, and we are here to meet the needs of our neighbors. So the question on this page is, which of your neighbors do you want to serve? Do you want to help? So I don't know if you have ever been introduced to the term demographics, okay? But basically it is a sociological word that helps because it helps you to break down the entire, human population of 7 billion people into different groups of people according to these categories. And these aren't all the categories, but I thought this was pretty comprehensive. So if you look at this graphic and you just read the different categories around it, you can think of people in categories according to their age, according to their gender, according to their occupation, their marital status, their level of education, their family size, their income, and their ethnicity or race. So the question you can ask yourself as you think about your mission and who you are here to serve with your interests and abilities is this question: what kind of person is my heart drawn to help and serve with loving patience? Okay, so patience, I think, is a great test of the level of care that you have for a person. Because the people you truly care about, the people you truly love and truly want to benefit is going to be determined by who you're most patient with, okay? So if you can be patient with a person, that means you're very committed to them. You're dedicated to their well-being, and you're going to stick around to see them progress. You're not going to just expect them to get from A to Z overnight, right? You're going to care about them enough to take them from point A to point B, from point B to point C, from point C to point D, and you're going to be there for that whole process of improvement and growth and healing, whatever need you're meeting. So you can ask yourself, if you don't know who you want to serve, well, what age group are you drawn to? Some of you love working with kids and some of you don't like working with kids. Some of you like working with teens. Some of you don't like working with teens. Some of you can envision yourself working with elderly people, right? Geriatrics. Some of you can imagine yourselves working with seniors. Maybe it's a little bit hard at this point in your life, but a couple of you may already know that you love working with senior citizens. I'm not going to say that none of you know that. I think a couple of you may already know that you want to be the person at the end of a person's life, right? Those hospice care workers, the hospice nurses, they are end of life people who are so important when a person only has 6 months to live, okay? Ask yourself, what gender of people do I want to work with? Some of you only want to work with girls. That's fine. No guilt, okay? A lot of my students who are teen girls want to work with teen girls because they understand them, they can relate to them, and that's normal and good. So ask yourself, if you want to work with all genders, just say all, both, whatever you want to put there, okay? If you ask yourself, well, what occupation do people have that I want to work with? Now, I realize you guys are young, okay? You may not know what occupation resonates with you yet. That's part of the question you're here to answer. But maybe you know you want to work with students. Student is an occupation for people who are too young to get a job, all right, a paying job. You can write students. And so my students who say they want to work with teen girls, well, when you're a teen, you're a student. So teen female students. Okay, so you can see how you're narrowing down the group of people that you want to serve. That is the big question here. Who are you here to serve? Okay, marital status. So again, it may come across as weird to ask, do you want to work with married people? Do you want to work with single people? Do you want to work with divorced people? Some of you may know, if you came from a divorced family, you may want to work with people who are going through a divorce because you understand what that is like and you feel for those people. Okay, so that's why I am not disqualifying categories that are more mature just because you're young. You will be in these categories later. And this is an exercise for the more mature students who are willing to think about the next 10, 20 years of their life, right? All the kids who just want to live now and enjoy the moment are not taking this course. They are not watching this video. So I'm speaking to the more mature, more long view students who are able to consider these kinds of questions even in middle school, even in high school. Okay, so education level. Are you drawn to people who need elementary education or who need high school education, who need remedial education? That's, people who need to repeat some courses and degrees they didn't earn the first time around. My mother-in-law worked with high school dropouts who later in life came back to earn their high school degree. Okay, that was her full-time job. She worked with high school dropouts to earn their high school degrees when they are later in life. And props to her, because that is not an easy job. Family size. Maybe you want to work with kids who are the only child. Maybe you are an only child. Maybe you're drawn to kids who are only children. You understand that experience. Or maybe you're from a huge family and you are drawn to working with people who come from large families. All right? So you decide if family size is important to you. You may not care. I don't care if I work with an only child or a child who has 9 siblings. You can say doesn't matter or NA, not applicable, right? Like I'll work with anybody from any size of family. Income. Okay, so some of you are drawn to people who are in lower income brackets, okay? So maybe those of you who are drawn to people who are lacking basic needs, maybe they also come from lower economic status, and that is just part of their demographic, all right? Maybe some of you want to work with people in the higher income brackets. Maybe you come from a higher income bracket. You understand the problems that they have, right? Everybody has problems. Rich people have problems. And so maybe you're drawn to solving those kinds of problems, okay? Maybe you see people in that income bracket and their problems, and you're drawn to that. Maybe you know who you want to work with in terms of their ethnicity or race. Maybe you want to work with the Black community or the Latino community or the Asian community, or it doesn't matter. Maybe you prefer a very diverse a group of people that you're drawn to, okay? So you can just say diversity preferred, okay? You can just write whatever's helpful for you on these lines. Geographic location, do you want to work on a global scale? Do you want to work with people in other countries, or do you just want to work with people in your country, okay? Do you just want to work with people in your region, in your state, in your province? Do you want to just work with people in your city? You can do that, right? You can spend your whole life just serving people right in your own neighborhood, and that would be glorifying to God, and that would be fine. Okay, so how about employment status? Again, do you want to work with people who are unemployed? Is it your mission to get them employed? Is it your mission to work with people who want to change professions? Okay, maybe you've seen a parent or a relative or a friend go through the transitioning from one career to the next. They need a lot of help with that. Maybe you're interested in helping people make that transition. And then last, I have religion. So again, some of you know you want to go into ministry. Maybe you know you want to work with, a different religion of yours. I have friends who are they're Christians, but they're drawn to serve with Muslims, right? They are getting trained to how to work with the Muslim community, how to engage the religion of Islam as a Christian, okay? Or it could be Buddhism, or it could be Hinduism or any of the other world religions, maybe you're drawn to that. Okay, especially if you come from that background and you understand it and you have a heart for it. That's, again, you're the perfect person to serve that community because you understand it. All right. They say that you are most equipped to serve the person you used to be. You are most equipped to serve the person that you once were. And that's why a lot of the people, just to give you an example, a lot of people who serve with Alcoholics Anonymous are graduates of Alcoholics Anonymous. They used to be alcohol addicts. And now that they're not, they come back and they pay it forward, right? Now they're the counselors. Now they're the coaches. They're the teachers. And they are now helping people who are in the place they used to be. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So you can also ask yourself, who was I that I am now equipped to serve? Okay, we're going to hit that later with the last question about defining moments, because a lot of times that kind of experience, overcoming a specific challenge or struggle in your life, is a defining moment that could speak into what could be your calling and your mission in life. Okay. Now, another term you may not be familiar with is psychographics. So let me introduce you to the term psychographics.